Katie, and this is my holiday decorating tour. We will start with the tree, which as you can see has been the focus of my efforts for a lot of years when it comes to Christmas crafting. So we'll start on this side and then go around. So this is a really early ornament. It's a needlepoint of the Nutcracker Mouse King. As I've discussed before, I love the Nutcracker. I did the finishing myself, so it's not really quite round, as are, most of my needlepoint finishes. They're sort of round, but you don't notice once it's on the tree. So, Christmas trees are wonderfully forgiving in that sense. This is another Nutcracker Suite ornament inspired by Rifle Paper Company. This is a Nutcracker Suite ornament inspired by the Vogue Patterns suite that I showed you in my previous Flosstube. Sorry. So I've got essentially two full Nutcracker suites on this tree. The one's inspired by Rifle Paper Company and the Vogue Patterns one. This is another Mouse King, and this was one of my very first ornaments. He's made from acrylic felt, and I'm still kind of figuring out my technique here. These are some more of my needlepoint ornaments that I finished myself. These are Rebecca Wood's designs. This is a PD Santa. My mom and I did a lot of these when we were first kind of experimenting with embroidery. And then this is one of the Just Nan Mice in a House. This is the winter mouse in a house. And then this right here is one of my alternate colorways for my Rifle Paper Company inspired poinsettias. So I showed you the red and pink one on my previous Flosstube. This is a very similar design, but in cooler green tones, which I really love. Again, Clara from the Nutcracker Suite. And then this is a favorite ornament. I made this myself. It was after an ornament I purchased from Anthropology many years ago for my mother when I was a college student, but I was broke. I could not afford two of these. So instead I took a picture and decided to make myself another version much later. And, oh, fell off the tree. That's great. This is one of my Christmas garden finishes that I showed you in my previous Flosstube. Plum pudding, and the top of this is all just encrusted with crystals, so it really sparkles. PD Santa that my mom made for me and gave to me one Christmas several years ago. And then this is a mohair mouse made from a pattern by Jennifer Murphy Bears that I then put on a woolen ball I covered with needle lace and put on a clip. I actually made two of these because the first one I had made for myself, but then being slammed for time and needing a Christmas gift, I pulled it off the tree and gave it to my mother. And then I forgot I had given it to my mother. So the next year I was taking out my Christmas decorations and just hunting everywhere for this mouse on the ball. I could not find it. I thought I was going completely insane. And then I got to my parents' house for Christmas, saw the mouse on their tree and was like, oh yeah, that's what happened to the mouse. So then after Christmas, I came home and made another one for myself. But the bright side there was that I wasn't going crazy, and I really thought I was when I couldn't find the mouse. This is a cross-stitch ornament that my mom made for me about 5 years ago to celebrate the what was then new, the home I'm in now. So that is one that I treasure and gets a special place on my tree every year. This is one of my earliest Rifle Paper Company inspired ornaments. I loved the little sequins. I used sequins of varying sizes and colors to get different kind of snow effects. This is an ornament from college. It's a sequin encrusted bell. You can tell this one is old because the beads are starting to tarnish, but I still love them and I put them out every year. And then these are just some ornaments from kits by Pearl Soho. I'll link those in the description. For those of you who have expressed an interest in embellished wool applique, these would be a really good place to start. This is a Cheswick Company ornament, Pooh Bear from the 100 Acre Wood series, made for me by my mom and given to me for Christmas. This is my Blackbird Designs beaded edge ornament finish. The tutorial for it can be found on my YouTube channel. Another Cheswick mouse soldier from the Vogue Patterns. These are some that I showed you in my previous Flosstube, and then this is a Rifle Paper Company inspired Christmas tree. I've done multiple ones of these because I don't know, there's just something about the embellished Christmas tree ornament hanging on my very sparkly embellished Christmas tree that makes me smile, and I love it. This is the Nutcracker from the Nutcracker Suite. And this little gem, which I posted on Instagram a few days ago, is elves decorating the tree. I made this, again, it was inspired by a Rifle Paper Company card. And we call Christmas crafting elfing in this family. I call my mom the original Christmas elf, and she calls me the master elf. So I can't resist little elves at Christmas because they remind me of our family tradition of Christmas crafting over the years. A little reindeer right here, a smaller one of my ornaments, of my angel ornaments. So this is much smaller than the larger angels I showed you in my previous Flosstube. A little gingerbread man. This guy's from college because, yeah, he's tarnishing. An alternate colorway of my embellished poinsettia ornaments. So I showed you the red and white version of this on the previous Flosstube, and then this is the pink, green, and white version. Again, I love this embellishment on the more dimensional wool poinsettia. Here I have a beaded and embellished bell. I've actually done two of these. There's the pink and gold one, and then my red, white, green, and gold one next to the Just Nan Christmas mouse in a house ornament, which I hung on my tree. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is the Mouse King from the Nutcracker Suite. I think he's great. And this is an embellished Santa face. So in the 50s, my grandmother made an embellished felt holder for Christmas cards that's got a title on it, Santa Mail, and the Santa face is one of the motifs from that, which I decided to make for myself as a Christmas ornament on my tree. I love that. It reminds me of my grandmother. This is the same Jennifer Murphy Bear's mouse pattern as the white mouse on a ball, but worked on a different color of mohair and with different embellishment, vintage mercury balls, and then in a fake knitted stocking. This is actually wool that I then needle laced with a wool thread over the whole thing. It would have been easier to learn how to knit. Honestly, that was miserable. This is a Just Nan elf Christmas mouse because, again, can't resist elves. Herr Drosselmeyer from the Nutcracker Suite, Harlequin from the Nutcracker Suite, and an ornament actually made by Rifle Paper Company. Usually I make them myself, inspired by their designs, but they've recently moved into actually making ornaments, which is great because you can now buy letters to Santa without having to go through all the misery of freehanding embroidery on felt. This is a Cheswick Company pattern, although I changed the colors to make it more Christmassy. And then this is my very first embellished Christmas tree ornament. So you can see how much my technique really involved in terms of finding out what worked with these. A soldier from the Nutcracker Suite. This is a PD Santa, actually one of my favorite needlepoint ornaments because of the embellished beard and the pattern on the background. I don't like needlepoint, it's so hard on your hands, but you can have a lot of fun with texture and pattern. So I did occasionally do those when starting out. And then here are a couple Cheswick Company ornaments. This is the hare from Alice in Wonderland, which I made, and then my mother made the whale because it reminded her of a shark after our hockey team, the San Jose Sharks. So we do have some shark-inspired ornaments on both of our trees. This is a little purchased mouse because, again, we just love festive mice. This is a new finish of one of my Christmas garden ornaments using my beaded edge ornament tutorial and a slightly different type of bead. One of the snowflake dancer ornament I showed you in my last Flosstube, and then I think we've seen most of the rest of these. This is one of my Quaker ornaments that I showed you. Another one of the Pearl Soho embellished. This is their, I think it's called their heirloom wool ornament kit, and I'll link it below. It's a good place to start if you're new to wool applique for Christmas. And then right here at the top, we have my tree topper, which was a Cheswick Company kit of a dove on an embroidered wool ball. And that's actually what inspired my own embellished crystal doves. And then the last thing is my tree skirt, which I made myself after an anthropology tree skirt I saw in college but couldn't afford. It was wool cutouts, and because I am just a glutton for punishment, I spent probably the next 10 years cutting out all these little bits. There are 8 of these around the base of the tree skirt. Oh, and I forgot, more elves, this time wrapping a pile of presents, and hugely appropriate for our family Christmases, which are all about gag gifts and handmade gifts and lots of Christmas elfing. And then a couple more Nutcracker sweet ornaments, a soldier and a mouse soldier. So that's my little tour of my Christmas tree, which I hope you enjoyed. I'll insert some clips of my other decorations that I have around the house, and then my beaded trim tutorial will be coming in the next week, so look out for that. I'll have a Flosstube up on December 21st, and until then, happy stitching.